Welcome to Never Rewrite. I'm Isaac Askew.
And I'm Jeffrey Sherman. And today we're going to discuss the writing your job out of existence mindset. I first heard this thing from my first manager many decades ago. God, I'm old. And he made the point, he said, look, if you're so, he made the point, abandon the idea that you want to be irreplaceable or important in your job. Because if you're irreplaceable or important, yes, everyone's going to come to you and you can't be fired, but also you can't be promoted. And so the idea of being irreplaceable, it's more of a trap than it is a protection. And he said, what you really want to do...
No, I just had a quick thought.
Go.
What if you don't want to be promoted? What if you're in the perfect spot and you really want to make your job irreplaceable? We don't have to go too far into that. I was just going to think about
it. I've never been there.
What if someone's like, I don't really want to, I want to stay in my role as principal engineer. I don't want to get promoted to director anyway. I'll make my role.
Anyway. Well, yeah, I see people, myself included, but like, I want to stay as an individual contributor. I don't want to become a manager, which is create some strife. But I've never seen anyone be like, I'm happy with the job I have right now, and I want to just keep writing this specific job until I retire. Like I've never heard or seen anybody explicitly say that, or so I don't know. I don't have any thoughts on that.
Okay, continue.
So the idea of writing your job. So the easiest way to get a role in your company is to make your current role disappear in a positive way. So many times let me describe the trap. Many times I've come in working for what I'll broadly call legacy system rescue, right? You're a developer, they've got a legacy system, they want to hire somebody to keep the lights on while they work on the new thing, and then eventually the old system will go away or whatever. They just need it to continue to work. They don't really care about it. So they've hired somebody new, somebody junior, and your job is to just keep the lights on, right? When this thing falls over, pick it up. And I have seen people who get stuck there, right? They get stuck, they get burned out because like, oh, all I do all day is I fix this thing and I get it working, and then it falls over, and then it's okay for an hour or two, and then I do something else, and then it falls over again. I have to go back and fix it. And they get burned out because it's a frustrating cycle. And the write your job out of existence mindset is don't get this thing running again and then go away and do something more interesting. Consider this thing to be the most interesting thing and make it so that it doesn't don't see the fun parts of your job as the time you squeeze in between working on the system. Make it so that the system stops failing, and now you have all the time in the world, and you'll get more new interesting work because the system is no longer failing, and you'll no longer be squeezing it in and stressed. And that's not a mindset I see often. Like, in some ways, it goes from a victim to a conqueror mindset of, I'm not stuck fixing this old crunky system and it's not keeping me from the new things. I'm going to finish this thing. I'm going to bring it over the finish line so it's no longer an old creaky system. And now the world is opened up. It's my oyster.
So do you think that people don't do that primarily because they don't want to write their job out of existence? Like they don't want to fix it because they want to be, to be stuck in that role? Like what's the reason for it?
I think it's twofold. I think first, it doesn't occur to them that it's possible, that it's a possibility. Right? If you're hired to keep an old creaky machine running, the idea that you can transform the machine into something beautiful and well run just doesn't occur to people. It's like, oh, well, my job is to oil the machine when it breaks down and then hit the restart button. It's like, well, not really. Like it'd be a whole lot better if the machine didn't break down at all, and then you'd be free. And I don't think that occurs to people. And also, I think there is a bit of fear of, oh, well, what would happen if I, Second, I think people don't believe that they can do that. The idea of a changing a system change is scary to people. It's not scary, it's daunting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The idea of, oh, I'm gonna replace this creaky machine with a new machine seems doable, but I'm going to repair and bring this machine back from the dead seems not doable. And I think a lot of that has to do with the idea of, oh, well, my job is to keep this machine running. It's not my job to fix the machine, to repair the machine, like, and bring them to improve the maintenance on the machine. And so I think a lot of it is it just doesn't occur to people.
Right. Yeah, I think the not occurring is probably a primary part of it. As we mentioned in a recent episode about just like getting kind of lost in your day to day, your normal habit of, oh, the machine's broken, got to do this, this, and this, and press reboot, and then it'll be good to go for another 32 hours until it happens again. Getting lost in that is one thing. I feel like for me, I'd probably reflect on it at some point, especially once it happens at a very inopportune time, like I'm trying to go to the movies or something. I'm like, all right, let's fix this damn thing. That'll probably happen to me that way. The idea that I couldn't. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Well, so like the worst case of this I ever saw, there was a pretty good developer. Like he wrote good code, and he was maintaining a terrible system. And he had long processes about what to do for each of these failure conditions. It's like, oh, there was some concurrency bug. There's a concurrency bug, and these things got done out of order, and so now it's all mangled. And so what you do is you run this select statement to get this data from the database, and then you apply it to an endpoint, and he would have these long documented recovery things. And he would complain that he spends 2 to 4 hours a day recovering mangled data. And
it's a lot of hours a day.
It's a lot of hours a day. And he complained. He was bitter. He was upset. He was burned out. And I'm like, well, okay, but why don't you fix the concurrency issue? And he's like, but that's not a priority. I'm like, well, neither is fixing the mangled. Well, you're spending 2 to 4 hours a day fixing mangled data, which isn't a priority either, but it's got to be done.
Yeah, I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of that person, but I think so far, like, if I was spending that much time, I would get so burned out with my role on fixing data that I would make it a priority. I would be like, hey, this job is becoming pretty miserable, and unless we get some time for me to go through and fix the concurrency issue, then this is just generating work for me to do and burning cash at your company, something like that. Right.
But you and I have a mindset where the easiest way to get rid of work that we don't want to do is to make it not be done anymore. Right? We have a write ourselves out of a job mindset of, oh, well, if this work is here and I don't want to do it, then I'll just make it not work anymore. Like, I'll remove this work entirely and that'll be great. And this developer was very much, it never occurred to him to go back and write something to remove the thing that was making him do work. The machine was creating garbage work for him to do, and it never occurred to him to go back and change the machine.
That's the way I like to look at it, actually. It's like we have a buggy feature that is generating work for me to fix. And sometimes it generates small amounts of work. And it's small enough to not care about, and there's other things to worry about. 2 to 4 hours a day is not a small amount of work.
No.
That is an incredible amount of waste. And at that point, like, you have to reframe it as there is a thing that generates bad things out there right now for you to have to deal with, and if you fix it, then you don't have to handle it. To me, it's like ignoring like a broken pipe bursting water and ruining my house. I'm like, I'm not gonna just keep moving the water out. I'm gonna turn the water line off. Like, what's going on here? But yeah,
right. There's no. It's a great way to phrase it. Right. It's yes. I will do something so I can stop bailing, or I'm not going to keep bailing out my basement. I'm going to fix it at the source.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, let's just fix the problem. But I do agree that there's a particular area where, one, you can get lost in your daily work and it doesn't seem as bad because you're so used to doing it. And two, the problem may not have been an issue as much as it was at first. Maybe it was like a small minor thing and it just kept growing over time, and you became numb to that part of it. Now it's 2 to 4 hours, and it used to be 10 minutes of your day 3 years ago, but now the problem kept growing because your company grew, and so the data that got corrupted grew, so the concurrency issues were worse, and now it's a big problem. Now you focus on it, but you just have to have somebody, again, like from last episode, look at you and be like, what are you doing, man? I'm on this other team and I see what you're doing every day, and you're just bailing out the water.
Right, you're bailing out a leaky boat, man.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring it to shore, caulk it, and...
Yeah. The one I don't understand, though, is intentionally not fixing it to protect your job. Like, I mean,
I don't know that I've seen that. Like, I know people who don't...
I knew one person, at
did?
least one person,
from
my first startup, who was the only person who knew how to sync these really old databases. I mean, not that no one else could learn. He just wouldn't teach you, and he was just the point person for it every time. And he was also really close to getting fired, and he was just not a great employee. But that was the last thing. And so actually my boss reached out to me and was like, hey, is there any way you can learn how to do this thing? Because apparently that was like the last thing preventing him from getting fired, was just that he was the only person who knew how to do this thing. And so he was very resistant to teaching anybody else. And then, yes, once he taught somebody else, he didn't get fired. But that's... I can see the fear from the perspective of, like, I just don't want to lose my job. But generally that's coming from somebody who deserves to lose their job anyway. They're not doing a good job.
Right. I did have one job once where my role was to make somebody who was indispensable, not a single point of failure, so that the company could grow. And he did not like that idea. He couldn't see that me making him indispensable meant that he would have time to grow and grow with the company. And instead he fought me tooth and nail to keep his... He wanted to be the big fish in the small pond, and he did not want to... He didn't want the chance to be an even bigger fish in a bigger pond.
Yeah. Needs to go the ayahuasca route and dissolve the ego.
What is ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca, the drug.
Oh.
You should look it up.
All right.
Dear listener,
drugs.
Just kind of drugs to help dissolve the ego in general and kind of reflect on who you are. It's more of that kind of philosophical route. Okay. Don't do drugs, kids. It's just a reference. Or do them, but do them responsibly. I don't know. Depends on where you're at, what state.
Yes. Laws may vary. Awesome. I think this is totally
great way to end the episode.
Yeah, let's just end it here. Thank you all for listening. I'm Jeffrey Sherman.
And I'm Isaac Askew, and this is Never Rewrite.